4 years. That's enough time to forget a name, miss a face, and bury a feeling. Or to turn those feelings into something sharper. Something that doesn't fade. And somehow, after all this time, ReZero comes back like it never left. With an hour and a half of pure memory, of Subaru and Beatrice, of awkward smiles and old habits, of jokes that sting just the right amount. Mimi's back, Garfield's still got that weird mix of rage and loyalty, Otto's just, well, Otto, and Ram, well, she's still sleeping. And maybe that's the point. Because when Subaru says goodbye to her, it doesn't feel like plot. It feels like grief that's learned to walk. Like someone whispering, I won't forget you, in a world that already has. There is something different in him now. A calmness, not maturity exactly. He's still Subaru, but maybe a weight. A knowledge that dying again doesn't make you brave. Living through it does. And when he looks at Amelia, there is a quiet understanding. Not the need to protect her, but the need to stand beside her. So here is the question. How much can people really change in 4 years? And how much of them always stays the same? Because just when it feels like things might settle, when the world opens up and they step into the sun-drenched beauty of Pristea, peace starts to feel like a fragile thing. And fragile things, they break. Pristea is beautiful. A city of canals, sunlight, and music. The kind of place that makes you believe nothing bad could ever happen here. But this is ReZero, and beauty has never been a guarantee of safety. Amelia walks its streets with grace, but carries the weight of leadership. Subaru walks beside her, not behind, not ahead. Equal footing, finally. There's talk of politics, of crystals and mana, of candidates and rising stars, of Amelia's sunlit future and Anastasia's silent ambition. But underneath it all, there is something else. That kind of silence before the orchestra plays its opening scream. Then it happens. Regulus Corneas enters like a glitch in the atmosphere. A man who claims wives like trophies, 79 of them, and he wants Amelia to be next. Of course, we don't know this at this point of the anime. He's not chaos, he's something colder. Entitlement sharpened to madness, and before anyone can breathe, the city is no longer a painting. It's a battlefield. Towers fall, Sin archbishops rise, and Subaru dies. Again. But this time it's not just death. It's the reminder that even in peace, horror has a key to the front door. So here is the question. When you build a world out of hope, how do you protect it from everything that doesn't believe in hope at all? Because the cracks are showing, and next we'll see what happens when the people inside the walls decide they won't break. War doesn't always start with a bang. Sometimes it starts with a conversation. Which Sin Archbishop will you fight? It's a question that shouldn't have an answer. And yet, every single one of them steps forward. Garfield, Wilhelm, Crush, even Liliana, the bard. Because this isn't just a battle for survival anymore. It's a statement that this time they won't be scattered. That this time they won't fight alone. And yet, unity doesn't silence the voices in your head. Al mocks Subaru, calls him average, just a guy trying to carry a city on his back. And maybe he's right. maybe Subaru is average. But being average doesn't mean you are weak. It just means you are real. Garfield sees his mother, but she doesn't recognize him. The person he has become doesn't fit the memories she lost. So he fights for her anyway. For the father and the sister she can't find. And Liliana, she plays her music from the tallest tower, watching the world fall apart like it's just another sad song. Her past walks past her in the street, and she smiles through the tears. Not every performance ends in applause. Sometimes it ends in silence. And then there is Priscilla and Raph, one woman with 8 husbands, the other one with just one, both dangerous, both broken in completely opposite ways. Raph thinks love means everyone feeling the same thing, and Priscilla calls that delusion. She says real love is chaos, everyone burning in their own color, and honestly, in this world, that feels a little more honest. So here is the question. Can you truly fight side by side if you don't understand what you're fighting for inside yourself? Because even as the city bands together, the real battles are happening behind the eyes. And next we'll see what happens when regret becomes stronger than rage. Some stories are told with swords, others are told in silence. Willem's story was both. He fights with the fury of a man who already lost everything and now risks losing it again. But this time, he's fighting her, Theresia, the love of his life, the ghost in his shadow. They were just kids once, a girl born to swing the sword better than anyone, and a boy who could only watch her disappear into destiny. She never wanted it, she just wanted her brother to smile. But life doesn't care what you want. It points and you walk or you get dragged. And Willem, he followed. Not because he had to, because he loved her. Quietly, powerfully, painfully. But he never said it. Not once. Even on the battlefield, even on their wedding night, even as they grew older and the weight of unspoken words piled up like a snowfall. And now she's standing in front of him, blade in hand, memory broken, and all he wants is for her to remember. She says he never told her how he felt. He says, his eyes, his voice, his hands, they've been screaming it all this time. And when he finally says it, I love you, it's already a goodbye. She fades, like a song reaching its final note, like a feeling you finally name, right before it leaves. We don't always get the chance to say what we mean, and even when we do, it might be too late. So here's the question. Why do we wait until the end to say the things that mattered from the start? And if love is real, is it still love if it was never spoken? The answer doesn't come easy. But now, let's check how Subaru looks at Amelia. The city breathes again. It doesn't celebrate, it doesn't cheer, it just breathes. Wrath is captured, gluttony escapes, the wounds haven't all healed, some probably never will, but for now, the sun is up. And that's something. Amelia plays her part like someone who finally understands what it means to lead, not to command, but to listen, to see the broken parts in other people, and not to look away. She convinces Regulus's wives, 53 strangers, that difference isn't distance, that just because your story isn't the same doesn't mean you can't share a page. And Subaru? He thanks Reinhardt for saving her, not with some grand speech, just thanks. Just Subaru being Subaru. Liliana plays again, a quiet tune on a city that's still trying to remember how to smile. The same city where all of this started, where the crystal was found, where promises were broken and rebuilt. The arc ends like a slow exhale. Emilia and Subaru stand in the morning light. They meet Lisbel and Tina again, the little ones, a reminder that some things do come full circle. That even in a world of resets and rewinds, there are still constants. But even now, not everything returns. Julius stands beside Subaru, and no one knows his name. No one remembers what he meant, except Subaru. A knight without a bond, a friend forgotten by the world, a memory only one person still carries. So, here is the final question. If no one remembers who you were, are you still the same person? Or maybe being remembered isn't the point. Maybe it's who you choose to be, even when no one's watching. And with that, the sun rises. Not as a symbol, not as a metaphor, just as a new day. And maybe that's enough. Some stories scream, some stories cry, but ReZero, it just lingers. In memory, in silence, in the words that were never said. And the ones that still matter, even when no one remembers who said them. Season 3 didn't give us a closure, it gave us continuation. And maybe that's harder to live with, but somehow more honest. If you've made it this far, thank you. I hope this hit you somewhere quiet, and if you're in the mood to feel something else, something different, but just as intense, I just finished my solo leveling season 2 review. It's on my channel. It's a story about power, pain, and finding your purpose when the world won't wait. I think you might like it. Until next time, remember what matters and don't wait too long to say it. Goodbye.